Hello, class of 2018. Next week, my wife Chris and I will be returning. We're looking forward, actually, to teaching a special course in system change to the 12 Chester Community Fellows who are Swarthmore students. But since you won't be here, I thought I would use the few minutes given me to subject you to one more thing, to a digest of what we'll be teaching. I can sum it all up in three terms that you may not have heard. One is core economy, the second is co-production, and the last is time banking. And I must say, President Smith and Professor Berger, that all of these come from what I learned in Swarthmore, which is to ask, why not? First, the core economy. You may have studied the economy of money, but there is another economy. Human beings have this strange habit of living 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We haven't been able to break them of that yet. And that's 168 hours. Knock off 40 for work, knock off another 70 for, God forbid, sleeping and eating, and you still have about 58, 60 hours that are left. I call that's a world that exists outside of paid work. I call it the core economy. It's the economy of family, of household, of neighbors, of community, of civil society. It doesn't do anything important. It just raises children, makes neighborhoods safe, takes care of the elderly, makes democracy work, and tries to keep the planet sustainable, but nothing very important, you understand. It is central to the ecosystem in which we live. And that is why, and my first proposition is, we need to invest in strengthening and rebuilding the core economy of community and civil society. Second comes this word co-production. All of us try to help people. All of us try to make a difference. And when we do so, we define the person or the group we're helping by their problem, by their need. But they are so much more than their problem or their need. Their problem is just a small percentage of who they are, and the question is, how do we unleash the other 80 or 90% of who they are, who are functioning, miraculous human beings? We need to unleash, and I'm a person who designed some of those service programs, so I know that if we fail to enlist those whom we're helping, eventually our own actions evaporate. And if we try, so there's a new bottom line. The new bottom line is co-production, and that would mean that if every program, every initiative called for some kind of in-kind match in community participation hours, every hour we gave would explode outward. So we must stop thinking that it's our job to deliver services, and we must ask, how do those relationships become the catalyst to enlist the very people and the very communities that we're helping as our partners and as the co-producers of the results we want? The third piece, and Nicole knows about this, is something called time banking, because these concerns led me to invest in the creation of a kind of currency that functioned on different principles than money, because money rewards scarcity, so it devalues every universal that defines us as a human being. Every activity of caring, of listening, of standing up for what's right, of opposing what's wrong, all of the things that enable us to function as human beings, we have devalued. And I said, we need to value work that the market does not value, and we need to value people whom the market does not value. market price does not equal value. Being the best human being you can be is priceless. So I invented this thing called time banking that you've heard about, and I just learned last night that 40 new members joined the Swarthmore Time Bank here in Swarthmore. But it's a medium of exchange that values every hour spent helping another human being. That hour is a slice of eternity. It is priceless, and time banking has now spread to 38 countries. Finally, I want to end because all of us are here on a continuing journey. And so I wanted to share with you 2 quick memories from how that journey has continued. One was 2 months ago when I heard my son, and my sons are in some sense Swarthmore progeny. I heard him tell the entire Supreme Court when they asked him why shouldn't people come into court wearing shackles. He explained to them they should not come into court wearing shackles because the court is a sacred place. The Supreme Court still needs to learn that. My second memory that I want to share is with my oldest son, Jonathan. At the age of 79, I thought maybe I was ready for a bar mitzvah. Now that's a ceremony of coming of age for teenagers. So that was, we had our bar mitzvah, our joint bar mitzvah after a course of study. And so I'm now 83 going on 16. In another year, I might be old enough to apply to Swarthmore. I'm hoping they will readmit me. Thank you so much.